Have you ever wondered how websites are built? Ever thought of building one yourself? Welcome to our journey into the heart of web development. In this video, we'll unravel the mysteries of how websites come to life, starting right from the basics. We'll be diving into the fundamental building blocks of any website: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. HTML, or hypertext markup language, gives the web page its structure and content. CSS, or cascading style sheets, is the fashion designer of the web, responsible for the look and feel. And then there's JavaScript, the magic wand that brings the web page to life with interactive elements. Together, these three form the holy trinity of web development, each playing a crucial role in creating the websites we see and interact with every day. So if you're ready to pull back the curtain and see what's behind the magic of web development, stay tuned if you want to get a glimpse into the fascinating world of web development. HTML, or hypertext markup language, is the backbone of any website. If we were to compare building a website to constructing a house, HTML would be the bricks and the mortar. It is the fundamental language used to create and organize the content on the web. HTML is a markup language, which means it provides structure and meaning to the raw content in a web page. It does this using something called tags. Tags are like little instructions that tell your web browser how to display the content. They come in pairs, an opening and a closing tag, which sandwich the content and tell your browser, hey, this bit of text is a paragraph, or this is a heading, or this image goes here. Now, within these tags, we can find elements. Elements are the combined package of opening tags, closing tags, and the content in between. For example, a paragraph element might look something like this: an opening P tag, followed by your text, and then a closing P tag. Moreover, we have attributes. Attributes provide additional information about elements. They come in pairs too, the attribute name and its value, and they always reside in the opening tag. For example, you might use an attribute to specify the source of an image file, or to set a hyperlink to a specific URL. So, in a nutshell, HTML is a system of tags, elements, and attributes that work together to structure and define the content on a web page. It's like the skeleton of a website, giving it structure and form. But it's worth noting that HTML alone only gives us a very basic, plain-looking web page. It's like a house with just the walls and no paint. Yes, it's functional, but it's not very attractive or user-friendly. To give our website some style and flair, to paint the walls, hang the curtains, and arrange the furniture, so to speak, we need another language: CSS. HTML lays the groundwork for a website, but to make it visually appealing, we need CSS. CSS, or cascading style sheets, is what gives a website its style. Now, what does that mean? Well, if HTML is the skeleton of a website, providing its structure, then CSS is the skin and clothing, adding color, layout, and aesthetic appeal. It's the designer's tool in the world of web development, the brush that paints the canvas of the internet. Now let's break down the basics of CSS. A CSS rule set consists of a selector and a declaration block. The selector points to the HTML element you want to style, while the declaration block contains one or more declarations separated by semicolons. Each declaration includes a CSS property name and a value, separated by a colon. For example, we might have a CSS rule set that says, all paragraph text should be blue. In this case, the selector would be P for paragraph, the property would be color, and the value would be blue. It's as simple as that. CSS selectors are quite powerful and come in a variety of forms. They can select elements based on their names, their attributes, their positions in the HTML document, and more. This flexibility allows developers to apply styles selectively and strategically, creating intricate and responsive designs. But the magic of CSS doesn't stop there. With properties, we can manipulate almost every aspect of an element's appearance. We can set the font, adjust the size, change the color, add borders, control spacing, and so much more. The possibilities are virtually endless, limited only by the developer's imagination and aesthetic sensibilities. And the cascading part of CSS. That refers to the way styles are applied in order of precedence, creating a cascade of rules that blend together to form the final appearance of a web page. This system allows for complex and layered styles, with specific rules overriding more general ones. So that's the gist of CSS. It's a powerful and flexible language that brings life and color to the internet. With HTML and CSS, we can create static websites, But to make them interactive, we need JavaScript. JavaScript is the language that brings websites to life. Now you might be wondering, what does that mean? Well, while HTML gives a website its structure and CSS provides the style, JavaScript adds the interactive elements that can make websites feel more dynamic and engaging. Let's dive a little deeper. JavaScript is a programming language that is executed by your web browser. This means that it works on the user's computer, not on the web server where the website is hosted. This client-side execution allows JavaScript to perform tasks like updating content, controlling multimedia, and animating images without needing to reload the entire web page. Now, let's touch on some basic JavaScript syntax. JavaScript uses variables to store data. A variable can hold different types of data, like text, numbers, or even more complex data types like objects and arrays. A function, on the other hand, is a block of code designed to perform a particular task. You can call a function whenever you need to execute that task. So, how does JavaScript bring websites to life? Through something called events. An event could be a user clicking a button, hovering over an image, or even just loading a web page. When these events occur, JavaScript can respond with code that changes the content or style of the web page, opens a new window, plays a video, or any number of other actions. But JavaScript isn't just about making websites interactive, it plays a crucial role in web development as a whole. JavaScript frameworks like AngularJS, React, and Vue.js are used to build complex web applications. These frameworks provide pre-written JavaScript code to make development faster and easier, allowing developers to focus on the unique features of their application. In a nutshell, JavaScript is the power tool in a web developer's toolbox. It can make a static web page feel like a full-fledged application, creating a more engaging and user-friendly experience. JavaScript completes the trio of fundamental web technologies. But how do they all work together? We'll explore that in our next scene. Stay tuned! HTML, CSS, and JavaScript are like the three musketeers of web development. They each play a unique role, working in harmony to build the interactive, aesthetically pleasing websites we use every day. Let's imagine building a website as crafting a human body. HTML, or Hypertext Markup Language, is the skeleton. It lays out the basic structure, defining where the head, body, and limbs go. In the context of a web page, HTML elements such as headers, paragraphs, and links form the structure of the site. Then comes CSS, or cascading style sheets. If HTML is the skeleton, CSS is the skin and clothing that make the body visually appealing. CSS styles the HTML elements, dictating their color, size, position, and more. It's the reason why one website might have a cool minimalist vibe, while another bursts with vibrant colors and eclectic fonts. Finally, we have JavaScript, the muscles that enable movement and interaction. JavaScript makes a website dynamic and responsive. It allows web pages to change and react to user input, creating a more engaging experience. For instance, JavaScript can power a slide-out menu, animate a drop-down list, validate form input, or even create a game right within the browser. When building a web page from scratch, you typically start with the HTML, laying out the structure. Next, you add the CSS to style your page, giving it a unique look and feel. Finally, you incorporate JavaScript to add interactivity and responsiveness. What's fascinating is how these three technologies can work together in real time. For instance, JavaScript can modify both HTML and CSS, changing the content and style of a web page based on user actions. In conclusion, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript are the fundamental building blocks of the web. Each has its own role, yet they work together seamlessly to create the rich, interactive web experiences we enjoy today. And the best part, with just these three tools, you can build virtually any website you can imagine. And that's how you build a website from scratch. So now you know the basics of web development. We've dived into the essential building blocks that make up the web, beginning with HTML, the skeleton that gives structure to your content. We then explored CSS, the stylish wardrobe that dresses up your HTML, giving it color, layout, and pizzazz. And lastly, we delved into JavaScript, the magic wand that brings your websites to life, adding interactivity and dynamism. As you go forward, there's a whole ocean of resources out there to help you deepen your knowledge. Websites like W3 Schools, Mozilla Developer Network, and Free Code Camp are just a few places where you can find more detailed tutorials and practice exercises for HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And remember, web development is a journey, not a destination. The more you practice, the better you'll get. So don't be afraid to get your hands dirty, experiment, and build something amazing. Remember, practice makes perfect. Happy coding!